Well, welcome. So I'm Kimberly Swan and I work in the Need office in Manassas, Virginia. And we are so excited to have you to celebrate our 2021 Bob Thompson Excellence in Energy Education Award winners. I would like to also introduce my co-hosts today. They're going to help kick things off. We have Miss Olive.
Hi.
Olive, where are you
Hi.
coming from today?
I live in Dawson, Texas, and I've been with Need this is my 4th year with Need, and I'm really excited to do this. It's going to be really fun. And there's Jordan, who's the other co-host.
Yeah, Mr. Jalen.
Thank you, Olive and Miss Swan. Hi, y'all. My name is Jalen Jordan. I'm sorry for the weather out here today. That's why I don't have my camera on. Weather's being unpredictable out here in Maryland. That's where I live. I live in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, and I'm glad to be here with you all today.
Thank you. So we are excited to celebrate you guys. We're gonna just kind of go through and say some words about why this award was put in place. So I'm gonna hand it over to Need Executive Director, Miss Mary Spruill.
Thanks, Kim. This award is really our kind of pinnacle award for awesome science teaching and awesome energy teaching. And Bob Thompson was one of our great teachers who was a Need facilitator, led our workshops around the country for a long time, a lot in Illinois, and then our National Teacher Conference, as well as some of our BPA Plus for Energy conferences. Bob passed away suddenly a few years ago, and as we were all thinking, what do we do? What could we say? What kind of award could we do? We were trying to figure out the best way to really recognize that childlike excitement about science and energy. And that's what the award's really created to do. It's there to recognize people who are willing to get a little dirty, willing to get a little noisy, willing to get a little crazy in the science classroom and in clubs and classrooms and activities and Need workshops and all of those things around the country. And that's what it was assigned to do. And from our very first, many of our former winners are on here today to congratulate our new winners. And it's about kids and teachers who really believe in that kids teaching kids philosophy that we have and really recognize the value of letting kids learn, explore, and find out more about the world around them. And certainly Olive and Jalen will say they've had some great teachers in their time, and certainly we all have. And we learned a lot from Bob. I think Robert and Barbara Lazar were with us in New Mexico when Bob decided to do our thermodynamics activity a little close to the fire alarm. And we managed to evacuate an entire hotel because Bob got a little excited over his thermodynamics lesson for our National Teacher Conference. So that's the kind of science that we really want to, I would say, reward. Maybe a longer safety moment next time, but we definitely want to recognize and award those who go the extra mile, those who bring that childlike love of science and learning and kids and supporting students, but also supporting your fellow teachers. And the nominations this year, we had so many great ones. But this team of new winners really stood above and beyond the rest. And we're just thrilled to give you this award and tell you how much we love you. And we are excited to continue to support the work that you're doing in the classroom. So thanks for being with us today.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm going to spotlight our winners real quick so you guys get to see their beautiful faces and names and where they're from. And then we'll kind of talk about who's with us, past Bob Thompson winners. And then we have just a few questions to ask each of our winners to kind of celebrate why they were awarded and hear a little bit more about them. So we have Miss Audrey Hughes. Hi, Audrey. And Audrey's with Hilsman Middle School. Do you want to share what grade level you teach and your location with everyone?
I am in Athens, Georgia, and I teach 6th and 7th grade. And this past year, I made a change to a different school. So I was at Clark Middle School.
All the way from Hawaii, Miss Laura Cummings.
Aloha, I'm Laura. I teach at Sunset Beach Elementary School in Haleiwa, Hawaii. That's on the north shore of Oahu. I've taught kind of every grade, every subject just about, but most often lately I've taught 4th, 5th, 6th grade science and math to students identified as gifted and talented in those subject areas.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us, and we're so
Thanks
glad
for having
to have
me.
these winners. We've got Miss Patricia Orta. Hey. There we go.
Hi, Patricia Orta from Chicago, Illinois in Pilsen. I teach middle school science, 6th through 8th grade. Yes, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well deserved, well deserved. And Cori Nelson, another lovely Illinois teacher.
Hi, I'm Cori Nelson. I teach at Winfield Central School, and I teach middle school science 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
Thank you. Hi, Lynsey, another one of our awesome winners.
Hey, my name is Lynsey McQueen. I am a 5th grade teacher at Dawson Elementary in Jackson, Mississippi.
Thank you. And we've got Tyler. Hi, Tyler.
Hi,
Congrats.
my name is Tyler Dufrene. I'm a chemistry and physics teacher at Hahnville High School in Boutte, Louisiana. And I just want to thank you all for this prestigious award, and it's an honor to be here with all of you distinguished professionals today.
Thank you. We're so glad that you're on and we're celebrating you. So our lovely winners are going to join us in Albuquerque, July 18th to 22nd. We will be in New Mexico for our National Energy Education Conference. And we're very excited to give them the award and their check in person, but we're glad that we have this opportunity again to celebrate virtually and have some friends and past winners. And so with that, I kind of want to just do a quick shout out to some people that are joining us that knew Bob and have worked with Need and have won this award before. We have Barb Lazar with us. Spotlight, yeah, there we go.
Hi, and congratulations on I know you all had fun teaching, even though this year was different, but I think Bob Thompson, it was the epitome of making things work, however he needed to do that. And your recognition this year shows that you figured out a way to make it work, to make kids enjoy and engage in cool learning. And as someone from New Mexico and Albuquerque, I'm excited to welcome you later this summer. So congratulations.
Thank you. And we have Nina with us. She won the award too.
Hi, I'm Nina Corley from Galveston, Texas. And just as Barb was saying, I mean, Bob was a wonderful teacher, and you are all wonderful teachers, and it's a real privilege to receive that award. Congratulations.
Connie, hi Connie.
Hi, I'm Connie Josve, and I'm originally from Michigan. I moved to South Carolina. I've taught math. Now I'm moving to ELA, trying to get back into more with the NEED project again. Once you're a NEED person, you're always a NEED person. They're always so welcoming. The Bob Thompson Award, it's a prestigious award to receive. I'm very thankful from when I received it several years ago. He's a great person. And Mary, I did not know that's why we had to evacuate the hotel that day. So thank you for letting me know that.
That's too funny. We do have some lovely people with the need. Hi, Maggie. Thank you so much for joining us to help celebrate with everyone. If you want to introduce yourself.
Sure. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Maggie Downey. I'm the chair of the NEED board, and I am so pleased and proud and excited to see all of you here today. And congratulations to And I hope this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship, to quote a famous movie. And for those new to Need and for those that have been working with Need for a long time, it is a wonderful partnership and a collaboration. And I'm honored to be able to join you guys today.
Thank you so much. We have Robert Lazar, and for our lovely winners, he is going to also be one of our conference facilitators in New Mexico next month. Hey, Robert.
Hello, everybody. Robert Lazar from Albuquerque. Bob Thompson was a good friend. More importantly, his passion for teaching, his passion for learning was infectious. The energy he had, it's hard to measure, but he definitely made a difference, and you should all be honored that you are getting this award in his memory, because he was a good person. So congratulations to everybody.
Thank you. So we're going to kick it off. Olive's going to actually kick it off with just a few questions for our winners, kind of get to know you and some fun there. Olive, you want to take it away?
Sure. First up, I like to ask Cori Nelson a question. You've sponsored an energy club, a science Olympiad team, host energy fairs, participate in energizing student potential programs, and have had students submit projects for Need Annual Youth Awards for energy achievement. Can you share with us a few highlights from these events? And are there any particular moments or projects that have stood out in your mind and made you wow? Have you been and you're like, wow?
Yeah, I think that what you're saying, wow, is kind of how I feel about the work that the kids do every year. I'm always amazed by how much we're able to accomplish. And one of my favorite things about helping them put together that final slideshow for the Youth Awards project is it gives us a chance to look back at the whole year and see everything that we were able to do. And little by little, day by day, it might not seem like much, but when you put it all together, it's just amazing to see all that. I'll just talk about this year just for a minute. With the pandemic, and we were remote, and then we were in person, and even when we were in person, we had all kinds of challenges. I really didn't know that we would even be submitting a project this year. It was kind of just a different year, as we all know. But when it came time for the energy fair, we were kind of in we had a problem because we couldn't invite anybody into our building. So what we did was we brought our fair out into the community, and the kids made videos, and we had QR codes that went all around town, and we made it into a scavenger hunt. And that was just a fun thing to do with the kids and see how creative they could be and how we could still have that community involvement, even though we had to do it in a completely different way. So I think that this year's project definitely stands out in my memory for that, just the way that we had to go about it.
Wow, that's amazing. I have one more question. What sort of morning routine do you do that makes you get jazzed up for class each day?
So funny. So I had no idea what questions you were going to ask, but this is the truth. My morning routine that gets me jazzed up for school every day is the shower I take in the morning, because I kind of run through what I'm going to do that day, and I'm very much a fly by the seat of my pants sort of person. And even if I have everything planned out, that shower in the morning, that's when those best ideas are going to come to me, and I'll think, oh, I was going to do this, but you know what, we're going to do it this way instead. So I hope that answers your question. Oh, and I do want to just say one thing before I forget. Bob Thompson, a Small World, my principal, Don Rinke, knew him. So when I won this award, it was really, really special in that way too, that she knew him and knew what a great guy. I never had the chance to meet Bob Thompson, but she knew him personally. I want to say she babysat his kids when they were little, a long time ago. I might have my details wrong on that story, but she personally knew him. So that was a great personal connection for this. And it's really an honor to get this award. So thank you. And thank you, Olive, for your questions.
Thank you. Thank you both. Jalen's going to take it over and interview a little bit with Miss Patricia Orta.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. So these next two questions are for Miss Patricia Orta. So Miss Orta, when did you first start teaching, and what made you want to be a teacher?
I just started teaching 6 years ago. So I'm fairly new, but when did I know I wanted to be a teacher? This is so funny to me, and this is why I giggled. I am the eldest of five children. So I don't know when I wanted to be a teacher, but let me tell you, being the eldest, I always gave my siblings vocabulary words, and up to this day they're like, we remember those vocabulary words that we had to know by Friday and you would test us on it. So it's pretty funny. I don't remember at what age that was, but let me tell you, my siblings have some great vocabulary.
Yes, ma'am. Seems like you were a teacher before you were a teacher. My next question is, if you were able to if you were able to take your students on a field trip to any place in the world, where would you take them and why?
So one that sticks out to me is I went to Springfield, and I went to this, I mean, there's so many places I would love. I work in this small school of like 200 students. And it's a very small public school. And my kids, our students are, so they haven't had a lot of opportunities to go many places. I grew up in that community. I went back to my community because I love my community. Our students are such hard workers. You give them a challenge and they will persevere. And they will succeed. So this is very hard for me, this question. But I think if I had to make a choice, besides taking them all over the world, I think that it would be, again, going back to Springfield. I went to this museum, and it's so focused, everything focused on like that 6th grade curriculum. And I was like, oh my God, my 6th graders would love this. Oh, the dinosaurs and the fossils, just everything was earth science. And I just keep thinking, that's in the back of my mind. One day I am going to take my 6th graders there. We always focus on the 8th graders, they're going to go to Springfield. And I'm always like, no, we need to start them earlier. So hopefully one day I will be able to take them. I believe it's Springfield Natural Museum. I'm not sure about it was a while ago that I went, but it's still on my mind, so I could take my 6th graders.
You got to take us too, because that sounds great.
It was amazing.
I'm an Illinois girl, so I'm all about that.
It was amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jalen.
Olive's going to hand it over to Tyler.
Hi, Mr. Tyler. I have a similar question to Miss Orta's question. What made you get into teaching?
Wow, excellent question. Actually, since I was a small child in pre-K myself, I always knew I wanted to be a teacher. I just fell in love with the education environment. I loved helping my peers learn. And as I progressed through school, I'm like, okay, I want to teach this grade. And then the next year, I'm like, I want to teach this grade. And it wasn't until I got to high school that I really had some motivational and inspirational teachers that I finally settled on teaching math and science at the high school level. I actually started off teaching mathematics. And then after a year, I decided to make a transfer to another school. And that was one of the best decisions I could have ever made, because I truly fell in love with science, which of course is a hidden math class or a secret math class. And I get to teach chemistry and physics to some pretty awesome students. But I knew I wanted to teach ever since I was a small child. My friends would always be very jealous of me because they didn't know what they wanted to do when they grew up. I did. So that was a challenge I never faced.
Wow, that's really cool. What would you say if your favorite energy lesson to teach that gives your students the aha reaction?
Absolutely. One of my favorites is doing elephant's toothpaste when we talk about classifying reactions. So with elephant's toothpaste, for those of you who don't know, is the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide. And when you actually make it happen, it just squirts up really, really fast. And it releases that energy through an exothermic reaction. What I usually do though, and the way I make it unique, is I usually start off by making it rise really slow in one experiment, so the kids think nothing special is going to happen with it. But in the second experiment, I put a different catalyst in, and it shoots up really, really fast. So it surprises them. And that's when they have that aha moment because they weren't expecting it. And I'm that type of teacher that I always like to try and catch them off guard and make sure that they're on their toes and truly enjoying my class.
That's great.
Thank you.
Tyler, if you ever film that,
Yes.
we have a Need YouTube channel, and that would just be amazing to add.
I will have to
So,
film it for you. I will
yes,
have to.
please
Yeah.
do. I am going to pass it over to Miss Laura Cummings. Let me spotlight you. There we go. Hi. Jalen's going to ask you a couple questions.
All right. Hello, Miss Cummings. How are you?
Jalen, take it easy on me. It's still the morning here in Hawaii.
I will. I will. All right. My first question is, are there any science and energy activities your elementary school students especially love to learn about?
Yeah, just about anything that's hands-on, discovery, inquiry. They're really into all those kinds of things. And I know this isn't quite the question you asked me, but way back, I don't know if Mary remembers this, but we were on the Big Island and we were doing a Hawaii Teachers Advisory Board for Energy Education. And Mary was just like, I just need some videos that show how to use energy equipment that are in these kits. And I was like, oh, we could totally do that in my class. We'll absolutely do that. So I took that back to my students, my 6th grade science class, and I said, this is what needs. They're gonna put them on their website. It'll be really cool. They'll feature you guys showing how to use these tools. So my students like took it a step further, and they needed some sort of creative outlet, and they got all into it. They were like using light meters as walkie-talkies and dressing up as police officers, and they'd be like, breaker, we have an overlighting situation in classroom P11, and I was like, you guys, this isn't quite the assignment that we were looking for. We were just looking for instructional videos on how to use these energy equipment tools. But of course, we rolled with it, and everybody ended up making 2 videos, kind of a fun one, and one that was more informational about how to use those tools. But my students really love anything creative, anything hands-on, that type of thing.
My next question is, Need values a lot of teachers who believe they are superheroes when they are teaching. If you were a superhero, what special powers would you like to possess and why?
Oh, good question, Dalen. Probably as a teacher, I think reading minds, it'd be great to figure out my students and know, I know they're thinking, but sometimes I don't know how they got to where they arrived. So it would be interesting to be in their thought pattern and see what they're thinking and how to help them. Because that's kind of a teaching craft that we learn as we go, finding out how kids think. So if we could just jump right to it and get in there, that would be great.
That's a really good superpower to have. I think it would be excellent. And you guys, we do. Need just truly thinks that you guys are superheroes, especially this past couple of years and having to go above and beyond what you already do. So we truly value you guys, all of you, and our winners here. We've got Miss Lynsey up with Olive.
Hi, Miss Lynsey McQueen. Lynsey, your nomination for this award shared that your bubbly personality and unconventional and creative techniques to engage your class in science makes you a favorite teacher among many students. Can you share with us some of your techniques that make you, the ways you like to present lessons?
Hi, Olive. Well, I like to think outside of the box when teaching lessons, so it's not normal to see me dressed up as different things or have different props or bring in things when teaching because I'm just so over the top. But whatever gets them to understand the concept and grasp it, I'll do it. So I really don't have like a limitation as long as everybody stays safe. But yeah, I like to dress up as a lot of things, especially for.
That's great. That sounds really fun. What are some traditions and superstitions you have for the first and last days of school?
So for the first day of school, a tradition that I like to do, I like for my kids to decide how we greet each other in the morning. So if that's a special handshake or a special saying, however we greet each other, that's something that I like to establish the first day of school. A superstition for the last day, probably that I'll shed a few tears because I get close to my baby, so I get a little sad that last day right before summer break. So I don't know if that's like a tradition or a superstition.
It's cool. Thank you.
I'm sure your students miss you too. You had some really great student recommendations for your award. So it was lovely to read that about you. And we have Miss Audrey Hughes. Thank you. Jalen will take it away.
Yes, ma'am. Miss Audrey Hughes in
Hi.
Athens, Georgia. I always wanted to visit Georgia, so I wonder how it is out there. But a nomination for you showcased your unwavering commitment to science and energy education. From science and energy teams to planning and building of energy efficiency schools, are there any particular moments that you fill you with pride you would like to share with us?
Oh my goodness. That's a tough one. I have to say, when the county commissioners in 2 different places where I've worked actually listened to my students with recommendations for building remodels, they actually listened and put some of their suggestions into place. That was pretty incredible. And then the kids they liked their ideas, so they invited the students to be part of the building and design team. So that was super unique and pretty incredible to have middle school students on a building committee team that actually worked with architects and district supervisors, city supervisors, that sort of thing. And their thoughts were valued, and the students could communicate with them easily just because some of the background science they had.
Convincing change is definitely hard to do, especially from the eyes of a middle schooler to an adult. That is hard to do, and I never thought in 6th grade I would be doing that. So I applaud your students as well as you. What would you say is the best thing about being a teacher? I know every teacher can answer this question. Everyone has their favorite moment and their not so favorite moments, but what would you say is the best thing about being a teacher?
That's a tough one too. Most teachers would say June and July, but the best thing is watching kids grow up and change and transition while they're with you for a few months. And one of the cool things about the team that I sponsor is I keep the students the whole time they're in middle school. So I get to see them for more than just a year. Typically, if they join the team, they stay on for 3 years. In fact, many of them kind of stay as team members through high school. So I feel like I become more than just a teacher. It's like a second mom. And those relationships are just huge. And that's pretty incredible is just getting to be a part of their lives. And what's additionally pretty cool is most of the kids that do go through the program do end up becoming science majors, which is pretty cool. And if not, they go into fields where they use what they learn in a way to reach more broad audience. So I'd say I take a lot of pride in that.
Hey, so for you. Our lovely winners, we're so excited. And I know Mary, myself, Barb Lazar, Robert Lazar, we are looking forward to seeing you in person next month to give you your award and your check. and just more kudos and meet you face to face for those that we haven't met before. And thank you so much for joining us today and having your friends and family and colleagues tune in on Facebook and on this Zoom call. And I mean, again, congratulations. It's wonderful to have read all the applications. I know it was a tough decision for Mary and the board, but we are so excited that you guys were selected and appreciate you applying and representing Bob and his spirit.